President Trump has announced a major shift in U.S. trade policy, marking a significant turning point in the ongoing economic relationship between the United States and China. This decision comes after months of speculation and behind-the-scenes negotiations, as both countries have sought ways to ease tensions and foster a more stable trading environment. The announcement was made during a high-profile press conference at the White House, where the president outlined his administration's new approach to international trade. The centerpiece of this new direction is a reduction in tariffs on Chinese imports, a move that signals a willingness to cooperate and find common ground with one of America's largest trading partners. By lowering these trade barriers, the administration hopes to encourage a more open flow of goods between the two economic giants. This policy shift is expected to bring tangible benefits to American consumers and businesses alike. For shoppers, it could mean lower prices on everyday items, from electronics to clothing and household goods. For small business owners and manufacturers, reduced tariffs may translate into lower costs for raw materials and components, making it easier to compete in a global marketplace. By lowering tariffs, the administration aims to reduce prices on a wide range of goods, making life more affordable for families across the country. This could be especially impactful for those who have felt the pinch of rising costs in recent years, as tariffs have driven up prices on many imported products. High tariffs have long strained U.S.-China relations and increased costs for Americans. The trade war, which saw both countries imposing steep duties on each other's goods, led to uncertainty for businesses and consumers alike. Many industries struggled to adapt, and the effects were felt in everything from grocery stores to car dealerships. The promise of reduced tariffs is seen as a step toward easing these tensions and rebuilding trust between the two nations. Diplomats and trade experts are hopeful that this move will pave the way for further cooperation on issues ranging from technology to agriculture. Economists predict ripple effects across sectors, from manufacturing to electronics. Lower input costs could help American factories ramp up production, while tech companies may find it easier to source components and innovate. The benefits could extend to workers as well, potentially leading to job growth and higher wages in key industries. For many, this development is a welcome relief after years of rising prices and economic uncertainty. Families may finally see their dollars stretch further at the checkout, and businesses could find new opportunities to expand and thrive. The administration hopes this shift will stimulate consumer spending and economic growth, creating a positive feedback loop that benefits the entire country. As Americans feel more confident in their purchasing power, the broader economy could see renewed momentum. With tariffs set to drop, the cost of many goods could decline, providing a much-needed boost to the economy. As the new policy takes effect, all eyes will be on the markets and on Main Street to see how this bold new direction shapes the future of American trade and prosperity. Tariffs are taxes imposed on imported goods which can significantly affect the prices of these goods when they reach consumers. Often these tariffs make imported products more expensive for consumers, leading to higher prices on everyday items. For example, if you import Swiss chocolate, you pay a tariff, which raises the price for your customers. This can make luxury items like imported chocolates less accessible to the average consumer. Tariffs are meant to protect domestic industries and generate government revenue. By making imported goods more expensive, tariffs encourage consumers to buy domestically produced items. When tariffs are placed on foreign cars, U.S.-made models become more attractive. This can boost the domestic automotive industry and create more jobs within the country. However, high tariffs can also mean higher prices for a wide range of products, from electronics to clothing, affecting the overall cost of living. Additionally, tariffs can lead to fewer choices for shoppers, as retailers may limit the variety of imported goods they stock due to increased costs. In the U.S.-China trade dispute, tariffs were used to pressure China on trade imbalances. This strategy aimed to level the playing field for American businesses. While this strategy had some success, it also raised costs for American consumers and businesses. Many small businesses found it challenging to absorb these additional costs. Understanding tariffs is crucial, as they impact everything from daily purchases to the broader economy. Consumers need to be aware of how these taxes affect their wallets. Changes in tariff policy can have far-reaching effects on both businesses and ordinary citizens. Staying informed can help you make better financial decisions in an ever-changing economic landscape. The U.S.-China trade dispute is one of the most significant economic confrontations of our time, with far-reaching implications for both countries and the global economy. At its core, the conflict revolves around issues such as trade imbalance, intellectual property rights, and market access. The United States has long accused China of unfair trade practices, including forced technology transfers and government subsidies to Chinese companies, while China argues that U.S. demands threaten its economic sovereignty and development. In response to these concerns, the U.S. imposed hefty tariffs on hundreds of billions of dollars worth of Chinese goods, aiming to pressure China into making structural changes and to push for what it sees as fairer trade. However, these measures have not come without significant consequences for both sides. American consumers have faced noticeably higher prices on everyday goods, from electronics to clothing, as the cost of tariffs is often passed down the supply chain. Small businesses and manufacturers have also seen their production costs rise, making it harder to compete and plan for the future. China, in turn, responded with its own set of tariffs targeting American products, escalating the trade tensions and creating a climate of uncertainty for exporters, importers, and investors on both sides of the Pacific. As a result, both American and Chinese companies have struggled with planning, investment, and profitability. Many businesses have delayed expansion or hiring, and some have even been forced to lay off workers or close their doors. Recently, President Trump's announcement of tariff reductions has signaled a possible thaw in relations, raising hopes for a de-escalation of the trade war and a return to more stable economic ties. As negotiations continue, there is cautious optimism that the two economic superpowers can reach a more balanced and mutually beneficial trade agreement, one that not only addresses long-standing grievances but also paves the way for greater cooperation and prosperity in the years ahead. President Trump has pledged to lower tariffs on Chinese imports, aiming for changes by summer 2025. The proposed reduction from 145% to as low as 20% marks a dramatic policy shift. This move is expected to ease financial pressures on businesses and consumers. The administration is actively negotiating to address trade imbalances and intellectual property concerns. Lower tariffs could mean cheaper prices on electronics, household items, and more. As the deadline approaches, optimism is growing among businesses and consumers. Successful implementation could improve economic conditions and U.S.-China relations. Lower tariffs could mean immediate savings for American shoppers. Electronics like smartphones, laptops, and TVs may become more affordable. The automotive industry could also benefit, with lower costs for car parts and potentially cheaper vehicles. Everyday items such as clothing and toys, often imported from China, might see price drops. This could encourage more consumer spending and boost the economy. However, the extent of savings will depend on retailers and other market factors. While relief may not be instant, shoppers can expect gradual price reductions as markets adjust. Business leaders are optimistic about the benefits of reduced tariffs. Elon Musk and others highlight how lower tariffs could cut costs and boost competitiveness. For manufacturers, cheaper imports mean higher production capacity and better profit margins. This could lead to job creation and more investment in U.S. manufacturing. The tech industry, reliant on Chinese components, stands to gain from lower costs and increased innovation. Overall, the business community sees tariff reductions as a step toward economic recovery. Easing trade restrictions allows companies to expand and tap into new markets. President Trump's tariff reductions bring renewed optimism for the U.S. economy. Consumers could soon see lower prices, especially on goods imported from China. Businesses may benefit from streamlined supply chains and reduced operational costs. These changes could help boost sales, investment, and job creation. The move signals a willingness to resolve trade issues and improve U.S.-China relations. As negotiations continue, the outcome will shape the future of global trade. The reduction in tariffs marks a pivotal moment, promising a brighter economic outlook for all Americans.